Now, this issue about protecting regional economies and not just saying, oh, yeah, it'll be great, trust us in 30 years' time, everything will be fine. I believe in New South Wales that the government has put things in place to as much as possible guarantee that that's going to happen. And I think what they were doing in Canberra, the Nats, is making sure that that was going to be the same nationally. So, because what has happened in the past is the Nats have agreed to these kinds of very major reforms and changes to the structure of the economy, and then what subsequently happened is that regional Australia has lost out, and then people look at the Nats and go, "You're meant to be representing us, and you sold out to the Liberal Party, and then we suffer politically because people in regional electorates are unhappy." So you can understand why they're a bit cagey and why they've negotiated very hard. And I say good on them. Good on them for getting there for a start, because we need to get there. But, they're negotiating hard, as they should. They wouldn't be doing their job if they weren't.
So let's look at the question of where the threat to jobs in coal, thermal coal, is coming from. Where is this threat? Is it any decision maker in Australia? We have no carbon tax in this country. Where is the threat coming from? The threat is coming from overseas, and it's coming from the corporate sector. It's a decision being made by governments and purchasers of Australian coal. And they have decided, one after the other, they've decided to buy less of it in the years ahead. That's the threat to jobs. That's the threat to jobs. It is beyond the power of Canberra to slow down this process. Japan said net zero emissions by 2050. China said we'll get there in 2060. South Korea by 2050, they take it very seriously. And India is in the process of making a similar commitment. It wants energy independence. It's going for renewables in a very big way. So they're our biggest markets. Those countries I've mentioned are our biggest markets for thermal coal, and they're saying we're getting out of it. We're getting out of it. And the corporate sector has made the same decision. BHP out of Mount Arthur, a thermal coal mine. They made the decision they won't linger in this space. So let's not give fake hope, false hope to regional Australia, that part of it dependent on thermal coal and fossil fuels in general. Because the hope isn't there. The world has made this decision. The United States, our great ally, has made a decision. It's no longer subsidising any form of fossil fuel, and export monies won't be there for American investors overseas. Now, if there is an understanding between the Prime Minister and the National Party that involves what Minister Pitt wanted, $250 billion in soft loans for companies that haven't anticipated this transition, I think Australian taxpayers, those in regional Australia as much as those in urban Australia, ought to be outraged. That's a monstrous subsidy. And I know there are members of the Liberal Party who are appalled by this idea. Every one of these big coal companies has known for 40 years the transition is getting close. And I tell you what, in the last 20 years and 10 years, been absolutely imminent. And if they haven't made that transition, they do not warrant subsidies from the Australian taxpayer. They should have been alert to the fact that the world was moving in this direction as it contemplated the unanswerable science about climate change.